Sorry, Patrick, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I don't know if it was
It
internet.
went robot.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I've had slight issues. Am I back now?
Your
Nope.
video is smooth, but your audio is crunchy.
That is very strange.
So I don't think it's an internet thing.
Okay.
Try unplugging your USB and plugging it back in again.
Would you like some titles in the interim?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. Oh, whoa. Now it just happened to me.
No, I think...
Hello?
Yes, Patrick was talking at the same time as you.
Ah.
I wasn't talking at all.
Oh.
Am I back now?
No, your audio is still messed up.
And my video is smooth.
Your video looks perfect. That's the weirdest part. Usually it's the other way around if anything goes
No,
wrong.
it was me, too. BioCow, it was me.
I couldn't tell. Maybe
Yeah, I heard it.
But you're fine now.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and change my mic to see if it works.
Did you unplug it and plug it back in?
Yes.
Okay, now I'm on my webcam.
Yeah, now you're fine.
No, is it my mic?
It's the codec, though. It doesn't sound like a mic going bad to me. Does it to you, Jenny?
No.
Yeah.
And it was so
What about
sudden
this?
that it felt like a failing something.
Yeah.
Is it crappy now?
No, it's fine now.
Huh. Interesting. Let's try this. Is it crappy now?
No, it's good now.
Okay, well, okay, I don't get it. Never mind.
Would you like a title?
Love a title.
If
I
you
live
can
for
do
titles.
The laugh sob emoji, that'd be awesome, but I don't remember that you can.
No, I think it's going to be it's going to be an issue, right?
Yeah.
I have no words for Oxford.
Yeah, I like that one. That's my second fave.
Although face with tears of joy is also
Yes.
nice.
Or laugh sob emoji. Gentlemen, I must depart and go to un appointment.
Okay.
I don't know why.
All right.
I just did it that way. But I will talk to you both soon.
All right.
And
You have a lovely appointment.
I will. It's gonna be...
Wow. Listen to your accent. So good.
All right. Bye, gents.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
So now you have to keep us entertained, Patrick. Ha! This is very entertaining. I have to say.
I'm still here. Sorry, I had to answer the door.
Roger could help.
Hey, Roger.
Boy.
So is Shogal available yet?
Shogal?
Oh, and Heroes of the Storm.
Oh, right. Yes, I assumed you knew what I was talking about.
For a second,
which,
I thought Shogal
honestly-
was in Overwatch, but then I remembered that no, it's a Heroes character.
I thought you were trying to say Chagall, like the painter.
Oh, yes. I
Is
was
the painter
also,
Chagall available yet?
I was
I've been
also
waiting for him to do my
wondering if,
portrait.
I was about to say, it's like, you have very exquisite taste, Patrick.
Oh, Chagall. Where are you?
I think it might be.
Is it? Oh, very nice.
There are lots of people playing Heroes.
Spread the virus.
Are you playing Fallout 4, Pat?
No, I'm actually not a huge fan of Fallout. So
Is it?
I know it's a shameful flaw.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm a fan of Fallout, but I suck at those kind of games.
Well, so I put it on my Christmas wish list.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's not like I'm not gonna get it at all, but
You're just not running to play it right away.
yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Well, maybe you can pick it. I wonder if they'll mark anything down for Cyber Monday. Be kind of cool. I think games are getting super expensive now. Super expensive.
They're all $60, right?
Yeah.
They always have been.
Nah, the generation before was 50 was the top, and then the generation before that was 40.
I don't know. 60 seems right. The title is "I Have No Words for Oxford."
Ah.
Oxford, comma.
Don't give a about the Oxford comma. I read those English dramas too.
I had something to say to Patrick about like what you're saying about this is a new way of communication in the written language. It's like really it's just kind of the reverse. We're going back to pictograms.
That's true. That's
Take
another
a
way of looking at it.
chisel and a hammer and some clay tablets.
I guess so, yeah.
Bird facing left, bird facing right. Couple of reeds. Hippo. Pyramid.
Horse. So really, the cave paintings are just proto-emojis.
Could be. If they could combine that different cave paintings to a single emoji. It's like, had a good time, and it's just like a cave painting of people spearing a buffalo. Or something. Having a good time. Hanging out with the boys, that's what the emoji is.
ICU says I should just play Fallout on easy and build stuff and chill, but then it becomes a time issue.
But that's life, really.
I know. I don't even have enough time to play Hearthstone these days.
You didn't do the first wing of the...
I did. Oh, I did. I completed it and the class challenges, but I barely have time.
Yeah, same for me.
And that's the thing, right? If you love something enough, you make time for it. So, and I love those I love those new wings and challenges and adventures in Hearthstone. So I definitely made time for that. But then Fallout 4, I'm like, I love it, but just to sit around, I don't know. It's not a priority, I guess. I'm learning something about myself right now.
Did you try it on your new shiny iPad Pro?
Hearthstone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. In fact, that's how I played the adventure.
Ooh. So it didn't convince you to play more because it was glorious and giant?
Not enough, I guess. Although it's pretty glorious, gotta say. I really love the Logitech Create keyboard. It adds a lot of weight to an otherwise lightweight tablet, unfortunately. But it's basically a MacBook Pro keyboard. It's a really good keyboard.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It makes the whole thing into basically the weight and of a laptop.
It's still lighter than my MacBook Pro.
Mm. Yeah, MacBook Pro for sure. But
yeah,
actually, I have a friend who has a very interesting way of putting it. The question of whether or not people will want an iPad to replace their laptop. Basically, he's saying that's the wrong question to ask. He says the right question to ask is, do people still want or need laptops? And it led me to the thought that actually most people hate their computers. We love them because we're nerds and we're idiots, but most people hate their computers. They don't understand how they work. They don't want to maintain them. They don't. So looking at it like that, I'm not sure the iPad Pro is the solution right now, but I'm thinking some people might think even if it becomes the same size and weight or whatever, and it is slightly less capable, some people might actually be happy to get rid of a laptop and just have a very simple system like an iPad. So in that sense, it doesn't matter that the iPad can do whatever a laptop can. People would be happy to give away their laptops.
Ben Beharan had a really similar article on Recode today, and I know some people have issues with Ben's analysis sometimes. I think he's really smart, and it's a really well-written article about observations of his daughter and how she used the iPad Pro as someone who has grown up with touchscreens And just, you know, younger people always pick things up faster than older people too. And it was saying a lot of the things that your friend was saying about like, yeah, you just use it. It doesn't matter that you don't have a mouse, because if you don't rely on a mouse, then you don't miss the mouse. You just find other ways of doing all the things. I feel like just based on your conversation and what you were saying right then, that my reasons for wanting to keep a laptop are the same reasons people have for wanting to keep a desktop. It is the right form factor to do the thing that I want to do. Maybe it's like high-powered gaming. Maybe it's, you know, video editing. Maybe it's, you know, some other thing that I need a bigger machine that has bigger parts to do it. But it's a specialty device, and I think laptops are going to become that too. Somebody like me who's like, no, I need Audacity and Colloquy, and I need to have, you know, enough RAM to handle a bunch of tabs, and I do a lot of tab switching. I want to have multiple browsers and be able to customize defaults, you know, stuff like that. I'm going to want a laptop, but that's not most people.
Yeah, exactly. I think we have a tendency of thinking of it in terms of, you know, hierarchical terms, like a laptop or a desktop is better than a less capable device. But the way the way of looking at it that might also make sense is actually some people might prefer those other devices.
Yeah, my friend Andrew.
For us, it's like we're waiting for them to be able to do whatever we're doing on a laptop, but that's the wrong way of looking at it, right?
And I have to say, one of the reasons I love this keyboard, it has unlocked the usefulness of some apps that I'm like, I hate doing this on an on-screen keyboard. And then suddenly it's like, oh, this is now really useful. I can totally use this as a word processor now, which was one of the things I needed a laptop for.
The arrows, or what keys are you thinking of?
Just the keyboard, being able to type.
Yeah. Oh, just the fact that you can type, not specific keys that give you functions.
No. Although that helps, but no, just like typing on an on-screen keyboard is always a pain for me. And I think for most people, I don't, you know, some people get used to it, but I don't think it's ever ideal if you have to do a lot of typing.
Yeah.
We just need a new way to interface with machines or computers.
I can't wait for thought interfaces where I just think what I want and it shows up.
Ideally, yes, that would be awesome. I think really what you'll see is kind of a bifurcation of computers where you have on one side you have powerful machines where people who content create, whether it's video editing, podcasts, music, designers, or whatever, need the flexibility and all these, additional advantages of having a large machine with lots of power versus people who consume and then do any kind of light content work, like, oh, I'm going to update my blog, or I'm going to send in my, book report. I don't know about book reports. Do they still have book reports?
Yeah, but that's the way people have been thinking about them for a while now. I think that's the usual, the conventional wisdom about the two types of devices. The thing that the way we haven't been looking at it is people just prefer the iPad. All things being equal, people who would have a choice would actually prefer to go on the iPad rather than on a laptop.
The only thing that frightens me about that is the closed nature of the app ecosystem, and that's not particularly an Apple thing, although they are at the extreme end of it. I mean, the Android ecosystem is also more closed than the open web, and that starts to erode some of the advantages that the World Wide Web has given us.
Yeah, I understand that on a theoretical level, on an intellectual level. I have a hard time now that there are still, the web is very well supported by Apple and Safari, and I have a hard time seeing a huge deficit,
Every time I am in an app and I want to send a link to what I'm talking about, and it either has a hidden menu option or just no way to do it, I miss the open web.
Yeah, I understand that.
And every time someone says, hey, are you available in Downcast? And I have to be like, well, yeah, we're really also available in every app because we have an RSS feed, so you can put us in whatever you want. Like, it's just sad to me that people think about it as like, oh, you have to put yourself in every app. Well, we have an open protocol that should make it so that everybody is available everywhere. And that's been one of the driving factors of innovation is that idea of like, there isn't a limit. You don't have to go ask permission to publish. And the apps make it more so that you have to ask permission.
I guess so, yeah. It's true. It's just a theoretical issue because in the case of Downcast, for example, they just scrub the iTunes store where everyone is, and they get every podcast in there anyway. And you can search for Daily Tech News Show and you get it.
Dumb about Star Wars. I never submitted to the iTunes store, so every single person has to subscribe manually. Now, is that a dumb thing on my part? Yeah, but the way the web should work, I shouldn't have to go submit it to the iTunes store.
That's actually
it's practical versus theoretical. I get that. Like, yes, Tom, but you can still go submit it, and then it would work.
No, I think no. In that case, people can still go to your website, get your link, and input it into Downcast.
But they don't, because a lot of them don't know that it works that way.
True. How would not having an app help that though? They would go to your website and listen to it. If apps were
open, or if there were just, if we just used an open interface that said, hey, you know what? These links are out there. Here's a list of them. You can have our curated list, but then just search for anything and it'll show up. That would help.
That's Downcast. That's all of the podcast players.
You can't search iTunes and find podcasts that have not been submitted to iTunes.
So you would want an open service that would do what iTunes does.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure that there could be one.
Yeah, it's called the World Wide Web.
No. That you're talking about a central service that
Google.
indexes all of the iPads, all of the RSS feeds.
Yeah, it's called Google.
But no, I think it. In this specific example, I don't think your argument holds because the lack of apps wouldn't change the situation.
Sure it would. If everyone used Google to find their podcasts, then I wouldn't have to submit it.
That is a flimsy argument.
Or if podcasts work where every app went and indexed RSS feeds, I wouldn't have to submit it. That's all.
But how would they find them?
Search.
Oh, so basically everyone would have to develop a web crawler.
No, you could have a portal. You could have a portal where people curate, but then you wouldn't
So you
exclude.
still need
It's
a
the difference
central point.
between permission and not. That's all.
But you don't have to ask permission to be on iTunes. You
Yeah,
just
you do.
submit it. I guess yes. I guess they can reject you. Okay.
Well, and
Fair
you
enough.
have to go and give them the URL. I'm not saying they're being unreasonable, okay? I'm just saying you don't just publish to the web and it shows up. You have to take another step and say, oh, Mr. iTunes. He's actually a really nice guy.
So what you would like is some kind of service that would crawl the web for all of the podcasting.
Some kind of hypertext
feeds.
transport protocol. Yeah.
I don't see how that service would work, magically indexing all of the podcasts of the web without crawling the entire web like Google does.
Exactly. It would crawl the entire web like Google does.
Okay. Sure.
Anyway, I don't know. I don't know if this is a productive line of argument, but it is fun.
No, I think it is interesting. It's highly theoretical, but it is interesting.
Exactly. It's highly theoretical. Also, I'm done publishing, so that's the other thing I'm doing. Thanks for hanging out, though. I know it gets late for you hanging out after the show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it did take away from some Overwatch playing time. So
well then I'm not gonna let you go. All right, thanks everybody for watching.
Thank you, chat room.